What is procedural analysis? Simply put, it involves a step-by-step process to complete a task. In this tutorial, I will explain what procedural analysis is and how it is used. I am Billy J. Atkinson, a student currently enrolled in the Instructional Design, Development, and Evaluation program at Syracuse University. Upon completion of this tutorial, you will be able to describe and explain procedure analysis, identify the advantages and disadvantages of procedural analysis, and determine when to use procedure analysis. Procedure analysis is used to design instruction in education and training based on the tasks that need to be performed in a sequential order. It is useful in business and industry, and many analysts believe that the primary function of procedural analysis is to describe job tasks and motor skills. Designers use procedural analysis to describe assemblies, services, and repair tasks. Procedural analysis analyzes tasks by describing the procedures that must be executed to complete them. Procedural analysis breaks up tasks into its component behaviors, actions, decisions, and paths of sequence. Procedural analysis describes task performance as a series of predominantly overt observable behaviors. Procedural analysis is used when the task is regarded as a sequence or series of steps, when the task is mostly overt actions, and when analyzing a general task, not the whole job. To conduct procedural analysis, there are 9 steps. The first step is to determine if the task is amendable to a procedural analysis. Is the task regarded as a sequence or series of steps? The second step is to write down the terminal objective of the task. What will the learner be able to do when they execute the task? The third step is to choose a task performer, preferably a competent performer. The fourth step is to choose a data gathering procedure. Will you observe and record the performance silently, or does the performer have to talk about the task they are performing? The fifth step is to observe and record the procedure. You may want to use an outline to record the operation and decision points. The sixth step is to review and revise the outline. Have all the steps and decisions been included in the outline? The seventh step is to sketch out a flow chart of the task, operations, and decisions. The eighth step is to review the procedural flow chart. And the last step is to field test the flow chart. This is where you will need to observe at least one other performer executing the procedures. An example of procedural analysis is a flow chart. Almost all procedural analysis flowcharts are completed using 4 basic symbols. The circle is for inputs and exit points. The square is for operations where the performer completes some mental action, such as recalling and selecting. The diamond is for decisions where the performer must choose one of several alternative operations to be done next. The arrows are for sequence directions. Arrows indicate forward and backward steps or branching paths to previous steps. For example, in this flowchart, the task is logging on to a government computer. The first step is to check if the computer is on. If it is not on, then you turn the computer on. If it is on, then you determine if the user has a common access card. If the user does not have a common access card, then this completes all tasks for the user. If the user does have a common access card, then the user inserts the ID card into the computer. In the next step, the user enters their PIN, followed by pressing the Enter key. This then completes the task for logging onto a government computer. Procedural analysis is used in many professions. In industry, it can be used as a job aid to facilitate task recall and enhance work performance. In business, it can be used to outline office procedures such as logging onto a computer or completing a form. In education, it can be used by instructors to outline a variety of motor skill performances, such as shooting a basketball and operating a power tool. In the military, it can be used for service routines such as maintenance and weapon assembly or disassembly. There are a few advantages and disadvantages of using procedural analysis. Some advantages are it can be learned quickly and can be applied to a variety of tasks in a variety of settings. Since the tasks are overt in nature, it allows for measurement and observation of all task steps. Observers can diagnose the exact failure of the performer in terms of failure to execute a step or sub-step and then identify needed remediation. Some disadvantages are: it is not useful for tasks that are primarily covert in nature. For some tasks, it can be lengthy and cumbersome in detail, and it does not reveal all of the knowledge and skills that must be learned for a task. Now, to check what you have learned, we will conduct a check on learning. True or false? Procedural analysis describes task performance as a series of predominantly overt observable behaviors. True. Procedural analysis does describe the task performance as a series of observable behaviors. In regards to flowcharts, what symbol represents a decision where the performer must choose one of several alternative operations to be done next? The diamond is the symbol that represents a decision where the performer must choose one of several alternative operations to be done next. When can you use procedural analysis? If you selected all the above, you are correct. You can use procedural analysis when you conceive a task as a sequence or series of steps, when the task is mostly observable actions, and when analyzing a general task, not the whole job. In summary, during this learning tutorial, we discussed the purpose and description of procedural analysis, the advantages and disadvantages of procedural analysis, how and when to use procedural analysis, and some current applications of procedural analysis.